Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV here at my hometown Coldwater, Michigan Superstore. Just a beautiful, crisp morning. I love this weather. You can wear shorts, you can wear pants, you can wear a jacket or not. You know what? I'm rambling already. We didn't tune in to get a local weather report. Let's focus in on the RV right here. This is it's the third year for this floor plan from the Cherokee group, and they keep making little tweaks, so I want to keep getting you some updated footage. I want to mention first and foremost, there are two ways you can get this camper. Normally, by default, it has a blue and white tin skin exterior. What we're looking at today is the Black Label Edition, which is like a 10-point trim package on top of the standard Grey Wolves. The most obvious of which is that it completely changes the exterior from tin skin to this gorgeous high-gloss smooth fiberglass that you're looking at, and it changes the nose from white to silver to kind of match everything. But there's some other things like the windows that go with it and a few other objects that are all part of the Black Label package. I'll try to let you know what is and is not part of that Black Label series as we go. I think what's made this floor plan so popular from so many different builders who offer it is that it is smaller and lighter, that it fits very generally comfortably within the half-ton towable arena, but it gives you a sofa and a dinette and a fixed bed instead of a Murphy bed sofa combo in something this size, which a lot of times you usually either have to say, I either want just a sofa, just a dinette, or I want a Murphy bed. And now you don't have to make that distinction. It is an open concept kind of camper, which makes the whole thing look and feel a little bit larger. They did at least give you a basic privacy curtain, which is one of those things I see some brands not do. There's also some surprising features, like this has holding tanks that are heat pads on the holding tanks. Okay, I need to go get caffeinated. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you that what we're going to look at is the good and the bad of the RV. I want to present it as fairly as I possibly can. I want to hear from you what you like and dislike about it. And if you appreciate the candid approach, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to get some caffeine, then let's go. Somebody said in the comments the other day, they like it when I start by actually walking right in the door, so they get to see it the way that I see it. I think that's fair. Like, you know, if you come check this out in person, this is kind of what you're going to see right here. I don't do it a lot because now I've got to kind of reach over quietly and try to soft slam the door without jerking the camera all over the place. And I'm not always really good at that because let's be real. Sometimes RV doors, they need to be kicked like a freaking mule to close. And usually that can be adjusted, but you know, you get the idea. Sorry, I got way off topic on process and procedure here. What are we looking at? Let's start right up top. We've got a 6.5-foot ceiling height. We also have a 15,000 BTU centralized air conditioner. In a open bedroom concept like this, I could see a manufacturer trying to cut the corner and not centralize the air. I think that would be a mistake because if you have a privacy curtain for the bed, like this one has, or if you're in the bathroom, those areas would get swampy real fast. What I do like here, it's a push and a pull thing. They give us, I think, one of the biggest campside windows of any builder I've ever seen with this floor plan. Like if I get over here on the sofa and sit down, this is the view from the driver's seat. It's very social. If you've got some friends over, you're chit-chatting, whatever, if you're just keeping an eye on things, the campside window coverage in this RV is actually pretty excellent. The thing is, they prioritized window coverage over watching TV. And I think in a stick and tin camper, there's a little more validity to that because I think that people, they look at this more of camping than glamping because the TV hookup location is about a 45-degree angle to the right of the sofa. And I could see that not being preferred by a lot of people. But by going that direction, they were able to give us the big window over here and more overhead cabinet space. That's actually one of the interesting things. I think this version of this floor plan has more storage as compared to nearly any of the others that I've seen. But every advantage comes with a drawback. So, you know, there's always little factors to kind of consider there. Now, let me back up and basically put my butt against the stovetop sparkers. Half the time, if you watch my videos, you actually all of a sudden hear the stove start going tick, 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 because my flat booty bumps into that sucker right there. Do a little booty bump. Again, this is a stick and tin camper. It's a very nicely dressed up stick and tin camper, but we still have things like the common, you know, pedestal bases on that table. You could exchange those, though, not from the factory level, but after the fact, if you wanted to keep the table and change the legs, that's just screwdriver work. That's easy, easy stuff. So if the knee knocker pedestal post is the only deal breaker that we have to navigate, call us. We can solve for those things. There's also nice things here, like your Grey Wolves are very good about not putting heat vents in the floor. Because the thing is, this is not made to be some like Arctic 4 Seasons camper. This is a spring, summer, fall, solo, and couples rig. And they're not trying to oversell it and overpromise it and underdeliver it. And I really like and really respect that. There's things you might like about the RV, though, and things that you may not. One of the things you may not like is this is a 60 by 74 camp queen. It's a short queen. It's 6 inches shorter than the queen bed you might have at your house. But I've already closed the slide on this one, and you're going to see that in a few minutes. This one does allow you to actually install a true queen if you want. Now, I say install, that sounds invasive. Basically, you can take this short queen backbreaker death wafer mattress and chuck it and put in a true queen bed very easily because there's no walls that you have to navigate around. So that's kind of cool. Over here, this is, your bedside plug and USB combo, but it's also a single point inverter. The thing is, I think it's only like 150 watt inverter, and I'm not really even sure what you could run off a 150 watt inverter. Now, Cherokee's done an interesting thing. When you go up into the bedroom, some of the treatments change. The color doesn't change. If you notice, the color of the woodwork hasn't changed, but the style of cabinetry and the style of window treatment change. In the living room, you're going to have zebra shades. When we get in the bedroom, you're going to have some basic pleated shades. But to kind of just give it a little bit of a visual dress up, they put just that simple piece of trim over it. And it's not much, but it's enough, I think, that it kind of looks the part. Like, I'm okay with it. And I like that it's not a big boxy valance that's out in the way, The household and USB plugs on both sides of the bed, that's just Cherokee was one of the very first brands that really got very good at that. And these bendy blue element, white element, 2-stage reading lamps that we're looking at right here, those are part of the Black Label package, as is the Pomeranian pillow that we have down here. I think it's supposed to look like wolf fur, but it always looks like a Pomeranian to me. Then again, I'm we don't have to go too far to say that I'm a little off, right? Taking a peek at the bedroom storage, it's easy for me to sit here and complain and clock them for not having struts on the overhead cabinets. But I want to give them credit. They gave us doors instead of just open shelf space like a lot of other builders do, They redesigned their underbed storage this year, and it seems like a lot of builders are starting to flirt with some variation of this situation going on right here. I think it kind of started with Coachman with their vaulted bed system, but I like it. I like how they gave us the totes that open off this. Well, they don't even open. You just pull them off the side of the bed, so you don't even have to lift everything. If you do lift the bed to get to that center storage trunk, though, there is no struts to lift that up. So I used the jack crank as a prop rod, and I'm not saying you should have to do that, but hey. And you may have noticed they also gave us a privacy curtain, which was cool. It's a thinner curtain, but again, I want to point out the fact that if we look up top with the central air conditioner, they at least had the wherewithal to make sure that they included a centrally air ducted vent in front of that curtain. So you're not up here, again, turning this into a swamp factory. And depending on what you had for dinner, you got the little belly bubbles going on, committing Harry chemical warfare with one another. And I just kicked the kitchen cabinet behind me. I don't know why I pointed the camera this direction. I just did it. You know what? Let's turn chicken poop into chicken soup. Delicious. This is a good angle to kind of show you how they do have the two different stylizations of woodwork. Normally, most of the Cherokee bedrooms are privatized. You wouldn't have the two styles here. They do a weird thing. They do a classic Forest River box behind the sofa, which gives you a handy little like knick-knack shelf and stuff like that. I don't think they have outside storage access to that, though. So they just literally created a dead air pocket under that, which I don't love. If you are a handy individual, though, you could absolutely put like a couple flip doors and turn that into a storage chest. But from the factory level, they don't do it. They also don't have other sofa option swaptions. Instead, what we have is what you see, which is a fold-down jackknife sleeper sofa. You could always put a couple, like a footrest ottoman or something in front of it, so that you don't have the, you can have a simulated pseudo recliner function, but they don't offer theater seats. They don't offer a hide-a-bed. This one doesn't have furniture swaptions. It is what it is, and that's how they make it. Now, just like over the bed, like if you're catching the drift, they don't use overhead struts for cabinet doors anywhere. Kind of a bummer, but at the same time, the RV is 6.5 foot tall. It's not 7 foot tall. It's not too hard to get to those cabinets, but I admit, I say that as a person who is taller than the average bear, so it's not really hard for me to get up there and to, take a look at all that. I do want to point out, though, take a look at, all the little outlet locations that we have here. You've got household and USBs kind of by the door, by the dinette. And then over by the TV stand area, you've got some households and your coax connection over there. In case you're kind of curious, you also have heat coming out directly under that dinette. And also, if you're curious, the little carpeted box that you're looking at, that's actually the wheel well. Because gray wolves ride lower to the ground, and I'll explain why they do that when we get outside, the wheel well actually jumps slightly above the floor level. Now, you might notice I didn't disassemble the dinette and show you what's under it, because there's not a whole lot to see. There might be a tiny pocket of storage here, but you might notice you got your fuse box converter right by the door, battery disconnect. You've got your battery gauge, which is, you know how you have a fuel gauge for the gasoline in your vehicle? This one has a fuel gauge for the lightning in the box on the tongue. And over here, that's your furnace. So there's not really storage underneath that thing. But I mentioned how the RV has really good storage compared to a lot of other brands. Well, that's because they sacrificed some kitchen counter space to give us some serious storage over here in the kitchen. That whole vertical door pantry space right there, that is pretty awesome. I also really like this new updated slide fascia. They just have this one beam to rule them all the way down. And then they have, I think, I don't know if it's powder coated steel or aluminum, but they have these. They have these things. Oh, no, that's neither. That's plastic. Okay, well, I put my hand on it. Now I know. Now we all know. Now we all learned something. Part of the reason I do these videos sometimes, I'm also looking at this. There's a dead air pocket behind the refrigerator that they're not using. So you're like, why are they wasting this spaces? Probably for budget reasons. They wanted to pull the refrigerator forward so that you didn't cold cock yourself and knock yourself out. Because Mama said knock you out. If you remember, there was actually a whole song about that. A lot of brands will put a big pantry right here where the TV hookups are. They didn't do that here because they gave you a big pantry elsewhere. A couple other really neat things they did, if we start right down below here, something Cherokee's gotten really good about is actually including a trash can in pretty much every floor plan. Now, there are some floor plans that don't necessarily have a good dedicated location for it, but they will typically still include it. It's like the little Walmart bag-sized one. But again, they sacrificed a little bit of kitchen counter space, but they gave us that giant pantry over there. Now, the whole Cherokee family across the board has moved away from propane ovens. Instead, what we have is a gas grill cooktop. You have an outside gas grill hookup. You also now have a electric convection microwave oven down below the stovetop. Now, some people don't like the microwave below the countertop level. Some people love the microwave below the countertop level so that, they don't have to reach above their heads and risk spilling hot soup down their arms, which I have done myself. It does suck. By going with the microwave below the stove, though, they were able to basically double the overhead cabinet space. And I think I finally got the word correct. They have a vertically fluted glass design here, which last year they had this open mesh concept that was really murder to clean. These are going to be much, much easier to clean. You can kind of see through them, though, which I know some people don't like. Something else I want to volunteer. These are stapled cabinet styles. The thing is, stapled styles get a lot of flack. And would I prefer them? Probably not. Peace of mind reasons. But if you actually look at Cherokee's execution, look at their fit and finish. Just because cabinet styles are stapled together doesn't mean they're bad. Go look at a used RV lot. Find RVs that have stapled cabinet styles. The cabinets don't fall apart. It's just that unless the factory workers are doing their job correctly, usually the fit and finish sucks. Well, I'm not going to tell you Cherokee's perfect 100% of the time. I will tell you, I think they're doing a pretty good job. That's my opinion, but it's your money on the line. So I always recommend you, get your own hands on it. Now, taking a look over here in the bathroom, draw your eyes at the right side of the screen. You can see me doing my toilet selfie champion routine. And if you listen, you can tell that I don't have the world's greatest amount of elbow room around that toilet. It is not the most fluffy, friendly of bathroom situations, so kind of keep that in mind. What do you think about the vessel style sink here? They went with a pretty good size one, so I think you can actually get your hands in there. Some people really don't like when the faucets are off to the side like this. I have personally camped in RVs where the faucet's off to the side. It was never a problem for me, but again, that's me. That's not you. Now, it looks like we have a Kool-Aid Man crime scene full of antifreeze going on in the shower floor over here. Obviously, this RV needs cleaning before a customer takes it home, but we do all that at no additional charge. We don't have the hidden prep fees some places have here at Bish's RV. I want to quick mention the solid surface counters you saw in the kitchen and the crazy like belly blaster undercarriage wand squirter shower hardware that you're looking at. I don't have the best angle on it, apologies. Those are all parts of the Black Label edition. Those wouldn't be parts of the standard Cherokee series here on the so there's a Graywell 22 CE, then there's the CEBL Black Label. We're looking at the Black Label today. Obviously, if you look up top here, you don't got to look too hard. You can see it does have that bigger XL vent fan, which is something that I do like. But with the RV being 6.5 foot tall, that means if you're taller than the average bear like me, your head's way up in that skylight. Thankfully, they included a skylight, so I could stand in that. And the thing is, I've spent many years camping in an RV that did have a 6.5 foot ceiling like this, and my head had to be in the skylight for about 8 minutes. And then the other 23 hours and 52 minutes of the day, I was in an RV that serviced me just fine. So, if the overall ceiling height in the shower is a deal breaker for you, I respect it. But, can you deal with it? I guess that's the question. And there's other RVs that are a little bit taller with this layout. You don't have to. It's just, putting thoughts to things. Now, let's close her up for road mode. And with the slide closed for road mode, if I give you the Cliff Notes version, I'm going to say that it's okay. The access here is not the worst I've seen, but it's not the best. Now, that is a Norco exact slide system, in case you were kind of curious. And remember I mentioned that this is a short queen bed. But if you notice, I think they left us enough room right there. If you want to put a true 80-inch queen bed in there, I think you could probably make that work. Now, the slide's not the deepest, but obviously the sofa sticks out a little bit because they put the sort of boxy thing behind it. I don't know that I really love that big boxy thing, but I also like being able to have a place to set a drink down behind me, so I don't necessarily hate that either. Like, it's tight to walk through here, but you can still do it. What is nice is if we need to, we can get back here, we can get to the stove, the sink, all that kind of stuff. The bathroom access in road mode is a little bit trickier though, because to get in here when the slide's closed, you have to kind of come around the slide corner, belly all the way up into the corner by the sink, open the bathroom door, which doesn't fully open, but it opens enough that you can slide through here. Now you can see that I'm not really doing the belly suck in dad bod kind of maneuver. It just takes like step here, open this, walk around it. Like, yeah, you can do that. And people, why didn't they do a sliding pocket door? If I had to guess, probably because the sliding hardware is more expensive than a couple of hinges, but that's just a theory. Whatever the case, if you appreciate how we take the time to show you stuff in road mode, whether it's positive or negative, hit that subscribe button. You know that we'll shoot you straight. And let's hop outside and see what else she has and what kind of tow vehicle we need. Now, something that's really important to understand when you get into these Cherokee Black Label editions, the weights and measures that should be scrolling across the left side of the screen right now as I yammer onward, they represent the brochure weights, the base weight of this RV in its base form, which is not Black Label Edition. Black Label Edition adds some things, but it also adds some weight. And this specific RV that we're looking at scaled out at 5,360 pounds shipping weight. So that's empty propane tanks and basically literally what you're looking at today is 5,360 pounds. Now, what's cool is that still means you have over 2,000 pounds of cargo capacity. So I think structurally everything is really on point there. And speaking of that, if you notice, look down at the tongue of the RV, you might notice how the A-frame of the travel trailer actually integrates right into the chassis. That's something that Jayco really just has done for a long, long time. Most of your Grey Wolves do that. And it's one of the reasons that these ride with a little bit lower overall exterior height as compared to some other things, because it's not shoved up into the air. The whole thing is just basically about 26 foot tip to tail as well. So again, for general tow package half tons, I think that this qualifies as reasonably half ton towable. Now, Black Label Edition, obviously, it's not hard to tell. Am I looking at a Black Label version or not? Because you do have this super high gloss fiberglass. You can literally see the reflection of the background over there. I want to mention though, people are like, what do you mean fiberglass adds weight? I thought when I saw fiberglass that reduces weight. Lamination reduces weight. This is still a stick-built RV, but a lot of people will tell you it's not. And that might, like, if you go shopping not at Bish's RV, or even at Bish's RV, I don't care, put us to the test. Make sure our people are shooting you straight too. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's fair. Ask them, what's the structure of this RV? Is it aluminum or is it wood? And if they try to tell you it's aluminum, either they don't know or they don't care. Either way, at that point, you decide who and how you want to work with there. Now, you might have noticed we have a full hot-cold outside utility shower, tankless on-demand water heater, which are great features. They are standardized under the bed so that no matter what floor plan Cherokee makes, they've always got the perfect place for those. But every advantage has a drawback. That means that they've lost their full front pass-through storage, although they do have decent storage under the bed still, and you do see a baggage door on this side. And it also means on a floor plan like this with the bathroom and the kitchen all the way on the opposite end from the water heater, that sometimes it takes a little bit longer for the hot water to get there. But you know what? I have that problem at my house, and we deal with it. Now, the difference is on an RV, you have holding tanks that fill up fairly quickly, and this RV does not have the world's biggest holding tanks. And again, I hope you appreciate that I'm talking about all the things the RV doesn't do. If this was my money I was getting ready to spend, I would sure want to know what it has and what it doesn't. So let's talk about stuff that's not easily seen. In our early flyby footage, and maybe Mr. Garrett can, if he hears this, can drop the solar panel snippet in like the upper left corner of the screen or something. You saw where they now have a 200-watt solar panel, which is not the be-all, end-all of solar. It's a reliable battery tender, and it's double the size that they had last year, which was only 100 watts. They are, though, running the gauge of wiring and a charge controller that could allow you to expand to an additional 200. So basically 400 to 450 total watts of solar potential here before you got to start rewiring stuff. Ooh, it's easy to miss, but look at that like yellow thing hanging down under the baggage door. That's a gas grill quick connect. You also have the upgraded quick drop stabilizers on this, which really take a lot of the herky-jerkiness out of this. Now, it does have a normal awning light, but one of the cool Black Label things is we also get like the truck floodlight up here. So you can get a lot of extra light, or like a security light overlooking your door. You can blind the gas station murder hobo before you kick the door open like Dog the Bounty Hunter, bash him in the face, and then engage in just an crazy like Mortal Kombat kind of fight, I didn't realize I had like an entire movie script related to the gas station murder hobo battle on deck in my brain. But hey, we're both learning things today, right? It has a black tank flush over here on the campsite of the RV, which isn't ideal, but it's the most direct location to get the best flushing in the black tank. If they tried to snake it over to the other side, it probably wouldn't work as well. We are ladder prepped in that upper left corner. Doesn't include the ladder, but they're prepped. They do have a walkable roof. You see the antenna sticking up. That is for a factory standard backup camera. Now, I'm going to refer to that as a backup camera, not an in-motion monitor, because the refresh rate's a little lower. If you're moving slow backing into a site, it's fine. If you're going 60 down the highway, it's not always the best. It looks a little choppy. On the back here, the cargo rack is 200-pound rated, but that is before the spare tires applied. At least the spare tire standard. It's crazy how many RVs still don't standardize a spare tire. That is just absolutely ridiculous. And one thing I really do like, since all of our plumbing stuff is back here, it's easy to have all of the holding tanks drain out of one single consolidated location. Now, one last thing you can't see on these, what's going on under the belly of this thing? They do some cool things, but you can't always see them because of the cool things that they've done. So when you're in a stick and tin class, there's a lot of things that have absolutely zero underbelly treatment. They're not enclosed or anything or heated or anything like that. What they're doing here is they're enclosing the holding tanks. Now, I specify that because it's not the entire underbelly that's fully enclosed. It's the area of the underbelly where the holding tanks are mounted that is skinned and enclosed. The other thing, though, is they have factory standard tank heaters on these. That update happened last year to very little fanfare. I'm shocked there wasn't more discussion and awareness applied to that. But as far as I know, they're the only stick-built camper maker in a high-volume mainstream segment with factory standard holding tank heating pads. Now, some brands have a forced air heated belly or whatever, but they actually have heat pads right on this thing, and they do that all the way down to their single axle wolf pups, and I don't know that a lot of people realize it. So you've heard from me. I'd like to hear from you. Like, how would you want this? Do you like the base tin skin look that's a little bit lighter, a little bit less expensive? Or do you like the Smexy Pants Shiny Shoes Black Label Edition, which is the technical term, keep in mind. What I'll do here also is I'll leave you some links in the video description where you can see all the copies of this that we have in stock at any of our stores, what the asking prices are on individual RVs, and let me know what you would like to go with and why. Now, again, other builders make this layout. I'll also leave you links in the description to check the some of the other versions of this that I've had the good fortune to record over the years. And there's still probably a couple more I haven't got to, but I've caught quite a few of them at this point, you know. Short of that, man, I appreciate you hanging out with me once again. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.